I get very offended when people look down on my baking. Okay? And if they do that, I no longer speak to them. I want to tell you guys about how I got into baking. Like I said before, I didn't always want to be a pastry chef, a baker, anything like that. I grew up wanting to be a lawyer. My mother was a teacher my entire life, and I grew up wanting to be a lawyer. Not a teacher, but a lawyer. But, you know, in high school, when I was growing up, we had subjects to choose, and I decided to take home economics. So that was my first introduction to wanting to bake and cook. Now, don't get me wrong, I've tried cooking at home. This is when I was younger, and my aunts, I have aunts and family members who are chefs, bakers, nutritionists, stuff like that. So I was always around food, right? But my real first interaction was in high school when I had to take home ec. And I took home ec for 5 years. Yeah, I took it for 5 years. And that's when I was like, okay, I wanna cook. I didn't start out with baking. I wanted to be a culinary chef. That's what I said. You know, I'm telling you, listen, I was lit. People might not have liked me, but my products. So I used to have my mom taught the school that I went to. That would be another story. But why I'm saying that now is because when I was younger, before I went to high school, before I went to primary school, when I was a toddler, she used to take me to school with her. So I used to hang out in the home ec section of the school, because those ladies, I love them dearly. They're all my aunties, okay? They used to, while my mom is teaching, I was their baby. You understand what I'm saying? I was always in the home economics center. So I was around the food, I was around the cooking, I was around everything. So I got an early taste of what was expected. So by the time I got to school now, some of these same aunties were still teaching, and they became my teachers. Okay? Now that comes with a lot of pressure, because you've been around it most of your life, and all of a sudden you should know better. You get what I'm saying? So anyways, that was my introduction to it. So right up until I left high school, I mean, my last exam for high school, we had to do a table setting and definitely show out and show off, which, you know, I did. My presentation was on point. Like, my table setting, my presentation, my products were on point. I didn't even get to take some of my products home because the teachers were coming like, oh my gosh, this tastes so good, this tastes so good, come, go call so and so, you know. So that was my introduction to baking and culinary. So fast forward to me moving to Canada, my mom was like, maybe you should just go to culinary school. And like I said before, I wasn't ready. Like, I was afraid still, you know, I really wasn't ready. And the requirements, listen, I didn't want to take their tests. If I'm going to be honest, I didn't want to take their stupid entrance tests. You see how dumb that is? So I didn't do it, right? I just went another route. But anyways, you know, so coming up to Canada now, I started cooking more on my own. I mean, but to be honest, my mother doesn't really cook, and that's nothing bad. She doesn't like to cook, but she can cook. When she cooks, oh my God, she can cook, she just doesn't cook. Because once I started to cook, that was it. I don't want nobody in my kitchen. Like, no, stay out of my kitchen. And she'll tell anyone now. That's the reason why she doesn't cook, because I don't want anybody in my kitchen. It's my kitchen. You know, I come up, my aunt was into food, so I used to help her cook a lot. I used to be around her a lot, cook, whatever. She used to ask me for, you know, help with certain things, which is fine. I don't mind. I share information. So, you know, that was my introduction to it. And then it was one Christmas. I don't even remember the Christmas. Maybe in 2010. This is a while ago. In 2010, maybe, I decided that I wanted to bake something for everyone for Christmas. I think it was 2010, yeah. So I decided I was going to make cupcakes. That was my first real I am going to bake moment. Because I made the cup. I was super proud of them. I'm looking back at them now. I'm like, whoo, child. I was super proud of them. So I was like, I'm just going to bake cupcakes for the family, my friends, all that good stuff. My best friend got it. All that good stuff. So I just wanted to do that. That's what I felt like doing. And it's been history ever since. Because right after that, I decided I wanted to open my own business. You know what I'm saying? So not just a side hustle, not just I'm just gonna bake and hope somebody buys it, like a legit business. And because I was working at that place, a lot of things stopped me. A lot of things should have happened a lot sooner for me, but I stopped myself in regards to my progress. So when I said, you know what, I really do think this is what I want to do, that's when I decided to go back to school. Like for me, baking gives me the satisfaction that, like baking and cooking, like I love feeding people. Like I like when people eat and enjoy the food, because to me, that's a form of love. You know what I mean? Other people might not see it that way, but I definitely see it that way. It's the purest form of love. To feed someone? Come on. That's why if you don't get no food from me, I don't like you. But yeah, so once I started baking on a regular. Now I'm gonna give you a joke. My mother hates flour. Okay, she does not like flour, so she's always like, oh my gosh, why I hate flour, and I got a child who loves flour. Like I literally play in it all day. So this is what my life is. This is, you know, I bake because I find satisfaction in it. You know what I mean? I love trying new recipes. I just love it. It brings me peace, because I didn't want to do culinary because I found culinary to be a little more demanding for me, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed my baking. Because the baking, it relaxes me. No matter if I have a deadline to meet, I'm still relaxed. You get what I'm saying? I'm just like, this is my life. So, like, the thing about it, I take baking very seriously. You understand what I'm saying? Most people don't understand it because all they think is just baking. No, there's a lot of science and there's a lot of things that go on behind it. But a lot of people don't understand why I bake. You know, I remember having people tell me, oh, you're just baking. Go find something to do. That is something to do. The same way, you know, guys go and play their sports, people listen to their music, or whatever hobby you might want to have. I bake. When I'm frustrated, I bake. When I'm happy, I bake. When I'm sad, I bake. I bake all the time. You know what I mean? So I get very offended when people look down on my baking. Okay? And if they do that, I no longer speak to them, because you're downplaying my career. You might not have one, but I have a goal in mind, and I definitely have one. That's just how I see it. To be honest, like, I'm very passionate about baking. I don't know everything there is to know, but I'm always researching things, ingredients. Like, I'm always trying to find new things that are new for me. You know, it might not be new for an expert, but things that are new for me, techniques that are new to me. Like, I try to keep my skills, like keep upgrading my skills, like all the time, which is why I constantly bake, because I want to be able to be a very efficient person while I'm baking. Meaning, I want to be able to whip up something and say, hey, I can make this in like 20 minutes, including mixing and bake time. Like, you get what I'm saying? So these are things that while like this entire summer, I baked. I bake all the time because I want to keep my skills fresh and new while shaving down my time, making sure I'm efficient and stuff like that. So baking is my life. It really is. There's really not much else to me. I mean, other than I'm awesome. Like, totally awesome. But my baking is my world right now. Because, you know, like I said, I'm really offended when people, like, look down on me because I bake. If you want to be a lawyer, I'm not looking down at you for doing that. If you want to be a plumber, I don't look at that. I don't look down on you. That's what you want to do. I choose to bake, and I'm gonna make a very successful career out of it. I'm going to make a living out of it. I mean, it's what I do. I don't do anything else. I tried 9 to 5s. 9 to 5s, aka office jobs, are not for me. I find peace in the kitchen. I love it. You can ask my chefs about me. I'm very dedicated to it. And my beginnings with baking came from just me being around it, you know? There's no rise to glory story. I was around it as a kid. I got interested in it and I stuck with it. It is what it is. I really just wanted to give you guys a little insight as to why I started baking. It really was just based on feeling and vibe, and deep down, it's really what I want to do. Like, listen, if I had the capital, okay, I'd be in the kitchen all day. Just making different things. Like, I have ideas. Like, I have a book that as soon as I get an idea, I write it down, and then boom, I execute it. Like my sticky toffee bar. It was an idea in my head because I knew I wanted to do something with sticky toffee. I created something new for me. You get what I'm saying? So these are things that happen spur of the moment. Usually around 3 a.m. is when I get a burst of genius. And it happens. I tell you, I don't sleep. But yeah, this is just to tell you how I started into baking and stuff like that. So